Let's say we have a very shy boy and the name is called reducing agent. And now we have a very attractive girl and the name is called oxidizing agent. The boy is so shy that he always keep a distance from the girls. And one day, he would like to give this magical ball to these girls. So to make this more memorable, this is why we prepare a short bridge, so pretty. So this is why we can send off the gift to the girls. Let us see how it's going to happen in our science lab. We're going to prepare a U-tube, something like this, and we're going to clamp it on the retort stand. After that, we're going to pour in our oxidizing agent and reducing agent to the both arms of our U-tubes. But before that, we're going to fill up the middle part with our short bridge first. So today, we're going to use dilute sulfuric acid as our short bridge. So what's the main function of this bridge? Is eventually help us to keep the internal circuit neutrals. Because why? Do you remember that we said the reducing agent or the boy is going to send the magical ball to the girl's side, right? But the thing here is the ball is eventually the electrons. So when he send off too many electrons, so eventually the right hand side will becomes too much of negative charges. So the negative charges will eventually causes the right hand side arm to become too negative. And at one point, the girl feel very annoyed. She said like, no, this is not going to happen anymore. It wouldn't work out like that. And then the boy, in the meantime, because losing electron, it become positive. And the boy is so optimistic. He say, hey, the girl must love my gift. So he's being too positive. When one side is too positive and another side is become too negative, eventually the reaction will stop. So this is why we have the short bridge come to rescue. Sulfuric acid, being one of the ionic compound, can eventually dissociate to form hydrogen cation and sulfate anion. So what it's going to work is, it's going to help us to neutralize the negative charges that build up at the right hand side arm, and same one, the sulfate anion will help us to neutralize the positive charges that build up at the left hand side arm. So this is why short bridge will help us to bring back the neutrals of the circuit so that the reaction can go on and on and on without any problems. So to be a good short bridge, it must be a very strong electrolyte. So the alternative will be either sodium or potassium chloride or sodium or potassium nitrate. So what do we mean by strong electrolyte is those kind of compounds or ionic compound that we dissociate completely to form the ions. So it means that it wouldn't go back to form the sulfuric acid. This is what we call as a dissociate completely like this. So again, the hydrogen cation will help us to neutralize the negative charges and the sulfate anion will help us to neutralize the positive ions. So that if you avoid the positive and negative charges will build up, which will causes the reaction to stop. But in SPM, we're going to make it simple and just say that the short bridge, the function is complete the circuit so that the ions can move through it, and at the same time, always separate the reducing agent with the oxidizing agent at a distance. So how I remember is, remember, the bridge is just like the customer service. He's going to help us to handle the boy and the girl. And now let us fill up the left hand side arm with our reducing agent. Today we're going to use the green color solution that is called iron 2 sulfate solutions. And the alternative will be the good halide ions like potassium bromide and potassium iodide. We have discussed in the last video, we said bromide and iodide is eventually the good reducing agents. And now we're going to fill up the right hand side arm with the oxidizing agents. And today, we're going to use acidified potassium manganate 7 solutions. Why must be acidified? It is because we want to produce enough of hydrogen ions so that we can reduce the manganese 7 ions to the most stable state, which is manganese 2 ions. So the alternative would be whatever the oxidizing agent that we discussed in the last video, which is the potassium dichromate, chlorine water, bromine water, and iron 3 chloride solutions. So now we have everything ready and we're going to immerse 2 electrodes that made out of carbons to make the transfer of electron happens. So why it must be carbon is because carbon is inert so that it wouldn't take part in the reactions. Electrode is basically just the electrical conductor where the current can going in and the current can going out. So let's connect the wire to the galvanometer so that we can observe the direction of the electron flow. And now we're going to observe the electrons. Can you see that? It's eventually moving from the left to the right. So one more time again, do you still remember what is oilic? Oilic means that whichever substance that losing electron undergoes the process of oxidations. So we know iron 2 sulfate must be undergo oxidations. Meanwhile, the right hand side, which is the potassium manganese 7, is receiving the electrons. So reduction is gain of electrons, so it must be going through the reduction process. And we know whoever undergo oxidation must be reducing agent for this case. And reduction must be oxidizing agent. And the one more thing that we need to learn today is what we call as an ox and red cat. It means that the terminal that undergoes oxidation must be inert. So oxidation must be inert. Meanwhile, the terminal that undergoes reduction must be cathode. Whichever terminal that have the electron going out is what we call as the negative terminal. The terminal that receiving the electron is the positive terminal. So let us now label it correctly. So the left hand side is the negative terminal where the electron going out. The one receiving is the positive terminal. The one losing electron is oxidations and the one received electron will be reductions. And now we say an ox red cat. Oxidation is anode, reduction is going to be the cathode. And most of the times, redox reactions come accompanied with the color changes. Same thing with this one. So iron 2 sulfate is eventually changes from green to brown. Meanwhile, the potassium manganese 7 solutions will change from pink or purple to colorless. So let's observe the color changes together. So what happening here is, eventually our iron 2 ions is green in color. So when it loses one of the electrons, it will become iron 3 ions, which is brown in color. So how I remember is good boy, green to brown. Meanwhile, our manganese 7 solutions will eventually being reduced to become the most stable form, which is the manganese 2 ions. If you want to learn this one how to write it properly step by step, you can watch the previous video. So the color is changed from purple to colorless, which is the manganese 2 ions. So do you realize that we have 8 hydrogen ions? So this is why we say we need to be acidified to provide enough hydrogen ions to convert the purple manganese 7 to become the colorless manganese 2 ions. And now you realize that we have 5 electrons here. We are receiving 5 electrons, but here is only giving out 1 electron, which is not balanced. So this is why we need to times 5 for the half equation for oxidations, like this. And after that, now we're going to write the overall ionic equations. So how are we going to write this? Do you realize that we have an arrow sign here? We say that whatever to the left of the arrow sign is called left hand side. Same thing here, whatever to the left of the arrow sign is called left hand side. And whatever to the right is called right hand side, same for both equations. And now we're going to combine both of them. So starting from left hand side from here first, bring it down. And then from here, left hand side, write it down. So this is also left hand side, write down everything one by one. And now we settle for left hand side. Let's begin with the right hand side from here, write it down. And then from here, write it down. Then we complete overall ionic equations. But do you realize that we have 5 electrons at the left and 5 electrons at the right? So eventually they can cancel out each other. So we can remove it from our ionic equations. This is why we left with something like this. And now we're going to swap the reducing agent and the oxidizing agent with the other alternative. So it's your time to shine. Pause the video and see whether you'll be able to write all of the ionic half equations and the color changes. Pause the video. So we're going to start off with the halide ions. So before this, we're going to remember the color first. Most of the time, when you see halide ions, it's going to be colorless, but with a few of the exceptions like lead iodide or silver iodide. Next, we're going to have the molecules. Molecule means that there are no charges, like whatever that we have is Cl2, Br2, and I2. So how we remember is these colors are going to be the young baby, YBB. YBB means that it's pale yellow and both of these are brown. Although the iodine, the brown is a little bit darker, but it's safe to say they are brown. So it's how you remember YBB for CBI. So let us start with bromide ion first. So bromide ion we know is a -1 charges. So when it oxidizes to become the bromine molecules, so it throws away the electrons. So now it becomes the bromine molecules, no more negative. So we're going to balance it off. So we have 2 bromine atoms, so we have 2 here as well. And we're going to balance off the charges, 2 negative, here is also 2 negative. And we are done. And the color change is going to be the halide ion is colorless, and this is going to be the brown color. Iodide ions, so we know we have iodide ions, and all the way it releases the electron so that it's now become just molecules. So now we're going to balance it off. This is 2 and this is 2 because we're going to balance off the atoms and the charges. So again, halide ion is colorless and the molecule is going to be brown color. So do you get this one right? Next, this is iron 2 sulfate. So again, iron 2, how you remember is good boy. This is for 2, this is for 3. So iron 2 is whatever that we did just now. So Fe2 plus, after oxidize, it becomes Fe3 plus. This is what after they throw away the electrons. So this is green, this is brown. So this is how we get these equations. So now we have the potassium dichromate 6. So potassium dichromate 6 is going to be Cr2O7 2 minus. Why K2 is not included is because it's the spectator ions which is not involved in the reactions. And we know chromium 6 is going to be reduced to the most stable form, which is the chromium 3 ions. So in order to balance the oxygen atoms, we're going to use the water, which is H2O. In order to balance the hydrogen atoms, we're going to use hydrogen ions. And now we're going to go through the reductions. This is why we receive the electrons. And the rest is just balance off the atoms and balance off the charges. So this is why we have something like this. And after you do everything, so you have something like this. If you have more details, you can check back with the previous video. And the color changes is going to be the orange to green. How you remember is DOG, dog. Dichromate, orange to green. Next is the potassium manganate, which we have done just now. If you forget how to remember the color is, when you PM somebody, you will say that, please check your inbox. So this is purple to colorless. So how do you write it down? This is what we have done just now, and you were able to check back with the previous video. Again, how to remember the color of the molecule again is the YBB. So this is the pale yellow. So we have the chlorine molecule receive some of the electron. This is why they become halide ions. Then we have to balance it off the atoms and balance the charges. So this one is whatever that we have the pale yellow, and halide ion is now colorless. So this is why we have something like this. Next, we have the bromine water. So YBB, B is a brown. So we have the bromine water molecule, which is brown in color, receive some of the electrons. Now they become the halide ions. So halide ion is going to be the colorless, so brown to colorless. Next, we have iron 3. So again, iron is the good boy. When it's 3, it's brown in color. So Fe3 plus is brown in color, receives some of the electron being reduced to become Fe2 plus. And this is the green in color. So do you get everything correct? So please comment below and let me know how well you did. Hey, if you have any questions or would like to see any kind of video, do leave your comments below and let me know. If you want to support us so that we could make more videos like this, the simplest way is just by sharing the video with your friends. Click the like buttons and consider subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.